Alright, hello everybody. I am sloaters27. I'm going to be playing a little bit of Super Metroid for you guys. So, the first category I'm going to be doing is any percent no major glitches. So it's going to be relatively glitch-free playthrough. We're going to try to do it as fast as we can. So, as we do with most runs, we start off on a file that's already skipped the cutscene intro, and so we'll just immediately come onto the Series elevator and move through the first couple rooms. These rooms are very straightforward on the way in. On the way back, it'll get a little bit more hectic. But for now, we're going to wait for Ridley to pop up, and we're going to want to take as much damage as possible in order to lower our health into the critical range and start the ship's self-destruct sequence. Okay, you kind of trolled me with this tail a little, but still got hit. So now the space station's going to start blowing up, and I need to get out of here as fast as I can. Some of the rooms are going to be a little different. There's going to be steam popping up in some of them. There's going to be tiles falling out of the ceilings of others, and even the camera itself will start shaking around in the last room. So very RNG heavy section here. And no major catastrophes. Get off with a 45-44. Not too shabby. So while we wait for this cutscene to play out, I'll talk about the route a little bit. If you've ever played this game casually, you probably know the boss orders typically Kraid, Phantoon, Draygon, and Ridley, and then you head to Tourian to fight Mother Brain. In any percent, the fastest route actually fights Phantoon first, followed by Ridley, Kraid, and then Draygon. Essentially, this makes the run a lot harder as you're doing Phantoon and Ridley much earlier in the game without a lot of the items you would normally have for those sections. So it's a very dangerous run. But yeah, we're getting right into it now. These first few rooms aren't too difficult on the way in. That last one, the pit room, can be a little challenging. Somewhat precise jumps to stay on those platforms, but managed to scrape by. Now we're going to pick up our first major upgrade, which is the Morph Ball. And of course, it's going to allow us to morph into a ball, as the name suggests. We're going to put it to use immediately, going through this little morph tunnel. And we're also going to use it to pick up our first missile pack. Missiles are going to allow us to open up the red/pink doors. We need 5 missiles to open up one of those doors. And with picking up this item, we'll officially have woken up the planet once we go back up the elevator. And you'll see a lot of the rooms I've been through already now have enemies inside of them. And we'll have to deal with them. A lot of these early rooms are actually sort of difficult to execute correctly. This room has a lot of wall jumping to it. It's tough to move up it quickly without making mistakes. Including this room too, the parlor. A lot of wall jumping and ledge grabbing. Of course, there's enemies now that we need to also avoid. So with our morph ball, we can squeeze through in here, and with our newly acquired missile pack, we can fight our first mini-boss, Bomb Torizo. We're going to take the bomb upgrade from Bomb Torizo, but he's not going to let us have it for free. We're going to have to prove it to him that we're worthy of using his upgrade. So I'm going to put myself in a very specific position here that's going to immediately push him back once he tries to walk into me. And using a mix of missiles and my regular pea shooter shots, I managed to get a pretty quick kill on him. Look at that. Didn't even need the drops. Already full and everything. We're also going to do a little trick here called the Alcatraz escape. Using wall jumps and do a quick morph to get back through that morph tunnel rather than using our new bomb upgrade to break those bomb blocks off to the right. And we're going to grab our first energy tank of the run. I'm going to need at least 3 of these in order to survive Mother Brain's final rainbow beam attack. I'm probably going to get 4, just for safety. But 3 is the absolute minimum that you would need to complete a run like this. One thing to note too, it's a little faster to run through those pirates in that last room I was in, but because I'm going to be going to Phantoon early, it's very important I conserve health. So rather than running through them and taking quite a bit of damage, I use some missiles to take them out. You'll see why later when I'm fighting Phantoon. And I'm going to do my first big sequence break of this run, and that is using a mock ball here to slide under these gates that you normally need speed booster for, but that'll allow me to pick up a early super missile pack. Super missiles will allow me to go through green doors. I just need 1 super to open those up. Normally you're supposed to fight another mini boss, Spore Spawn, to grab your first supers, but using that mock ball we can just bypass that fight entirely. It's very convenient. Oops. Yeah, so ideally I wouldn't be taking extra hits here. So I may do a little bit of farming just to be safe. Try to get some more health. I'm gonna grab another missile pack while I'm here. This will be very handy for the Phantoon fight. That's gonna be my main source of damage against him. And I'll also grab the charge beam. The charge beam you need to damage most of the bosses in this game, aside from using your ammunition. And it's gonna allow us to not pick up a ton of ammo and still beat the game, so definitely an important upgrade. And this is where you really diverge from a casual playthrough of this game. You're supposed to go down Red Tower, the next room here, but I'm gonna go up Red Tower using some well-placed wall jumps and get my first power bomb pack pretty early, which will let me go into the wrecked ship and fight Phantoon. I said I was gonna farm, but I didn't really do that. That's fine though. We're also coming up to one of the first really difficult tricks of this run, and that is getting over the moat. There's 2 ways to go about this. I can either do a frame-perfect jump into a 2-frame window wall jump off of the moat pedestal to try to get over, or I can attempt to do a horizontal bomb jump, which is not frame-perfect by any means, but it's not too easy of a trick either. So I'm going to try to go for the continuous wall jump, but if I don't get the first jump, then I'll have to resort to the bomb jump as a backup. I'm actually going to farm these guys. Hope they give me some health. Oh, okay, 2 power bombs. That's Great. Here we go. First jump is good. Now if I can hit this wall jump in a 2-frame window, I will be across. And there we go. As the CWJ, continuous wall jump. So, like I said, you really want to have a lot of health for Phantoon. This is about 30 energy less than I'm used to. I can, right now, take 2 hits from Phantoon and still be alive. Phantoon will drop energy occasionally, so I'm gonna be hoping for a lot of energy drops just so I can stay in a very comfortable health range. But if worse comes to worse, there's some safety strats you can do. Like I said earlier, the main source of damage is going to be my missiles. I'm going to do a technique called the Doppler where I run into Phantoon as I'm firing missiles, and this increases the speed at which the missiles are hitting Phantoon. Oh wow, got it fast. And as you can see there, it sort of stuns him in place and keeps him from flying off or disappearing off of the screen. So if you do it right, you can get a 2-round pretty consistently with this fight. But yeah, this is looking a little scary. There we go. That was a 3-round, so you know, could have been faster, but I also had to be pretty careful with my health. Phantoon can open up in a fast, mid, or slow pattern. You want to get fast patterns as they're quite a bit faster than the other ones. I don't remember what I got. I know I got a fast on the first one, but generally getting slows is most likely, so we got a little bit lucky there getting the fast. We got pretty favorable drops. We're full on supers, that's good. We have plenty of power bombs to get out of here. Energy's looking good, so I'm not too worried at the moment. We're going to be coming up to the attic, which can be a very problematic room. It's very easy to take a lot of damage, which would not be good, as I'm going to need a lot of health coming up in the bowling room. So we'll see what happens. Oops. Okay, I'll grab that, just in case. You really want to try to not use a lot of supers in that room. I think I got a drop off at least one enemy, so I didn't get burned too bad for spending some extra supers. So we're in pretty good shape right now, ammo-wise. Look at that, full-on supers. That's great. So this is the room, the reason why I needed a lot of health. These spikes do 60 damage apiece, and with only 199 health total, I can't take very many hits. It's pretty easy to only take 2, but you know, mistakes happen sometimes, so it's good to have some excess energy when you can. But that is the end of Wreck's ship. We're going to be rewarded with our gravity suit, which is an extremely powerful item. It's going to give us free access to move in water without slowing us down. We're going to be able to travel in heated rooms now, and it also gives us the highest level of protection against enemies and environmental damage and all that good stuff. So now really, this is sort of the only part of the run where we're kind of be focused on item collection. Once we pick up a few goodies, we're going to be ready to just sort of plow through all the bosses and work our way back up to Tourian. Ammo count's looking really good. I want to have at least 2 power bombs when I head down to Norfair, so 3 is more than I need. The next upgrade I'm going to grab is the Spacer Beam. Spacer will widen my charge shots and my regular shots a little bit, and it's also going to give a slight damage boost. It's not really as good as the Plasma Beam, which you can get much later on after you fight Draygon, but it's actually faster for us to not get Plasma in this route and to just grab Spacer instead. Another thing I'm going to do is break open the Meridia tube right now. It's a little faster to do this now. The trigger, the spot where the power bomb needs to cross over to break the tube is actually the top left of the tube. So by laying the power bomb on the left side of the screen like that, it'll cross over that area quicker, and it'll also make it a little faster when I come back into the area. I can jump up into Meridia very quickly when the tube's already broken. But like I said, we're going to do some more item collection here. I'm going to get this energy tank. Again, I need at least 3 of these. This is going to be very helpful in the upcoming sections. And we're also going to get the high jump boots, which, like they say, it gives you a very high jump, which is great for a speed run. Some of the doors in these games, you need to defeat all or some of the enemies in a room to open them. That is one of such doors. And that's why I needed to lay that power bomb there in order to kill that Sova and have the door unlock for me. And it also conveniently breaks those blocks and lets me get through. And I'm going to grab another beam upgrade, this time the Ice Beam. Ice Beam also gives me a slight boost to my beam damage. It's also going to let me freeze enemies and use them as platforms. And it also saves a ton of time in Tourian, as to kill Metroids you either need to freeze them and use ammo or just use power bombs, which is extremely slow. I'm going to make sure I get a lot of running speed coming into here so I can do a mock ball to go under these gates. It is much faster than going through the morph tunnel in the ceiling. And we're going to keep heading through Norfair. Nice super drop. There's a few items over here in Bubble Mountain. The first one we're going to grab is the Speed Booster. Come on. The Speed Booster is going to boost our speed, as the name suggests. It'll make our running speed a lot faster, and we'll also be able to start doing Shine Sparks, which I'll be able to show off pretty soon here. As far as my ammo goes right now, I'm hoping to have at least 8 supers when I leave the Bat Cave again this time. I'm just going to do 1 farm here. If I don't get a super from it, it's not a big deal. I can just get lucky later on. But look at that, we're at 9. Perfect. And the other item we're going to grab right before going down to Lower Norfair is the Wave Beam. The Wave Beam is great. It adds a lot of damage to your beam shots, and also lets you shoot through walls and other things in the map, so you can activate some of those blue gates from the wrong side. But it really does increase your damage output a lot, which is great. And we'll need a lot of damage when we fight Ridley coming up here. So normally to get in Lower Norfair, you're supposed to have the space jump, so you can just fly up the lava pit and get to the elevator. But since we don't have that, we're going to have to do one of 2 things. I'm going to go for what we call the lava spark, where I charge a shine spark going into the lava pit room, and then deboost off a Namahe flame and spark at the very last moment to get up. If I can't do that, then I'll have to do a gravity jump instead, which is a little slower. So we'll see. Short charge looks good. And there's a lava spark. It's very, very scary when you miss that spark, as you use up energy when you spark, and missing and then having to do a gravity jump again, which also costs a lot of energy, makes this section of the run pretty dangerous. But fortunately, we don't have to deal with that. We'll have a lot of room for error on the way to Ridley. Oop, did not get a short charge there. I wanted to charge a shine spark and just spark through these pillars, but I will just use power bombs instead, which is okay. We like to call this room the worst room in the game because it is difficult to traverse through with equipment like this. But there's some pretty cool strats like that that can get you through unscathed. I guess we'll see later on when I do 100% that is not a bad room in the game at all with the right equipment. Unfortunately, I did not get a short charge here, so I can't use a shine spark. You can actually use the echoes of your shine sparks to kill enemies. And, oh, that's not good. I forgot that I bombed the pillars with power bombs, so I'm actually out of power bombs right now, which is bad. I'm gonna need one to get through this little statue thing here. So I'm gonna grab the infamous power bombs of shame. Normally in 90%, you do not need more than 1 pack, but if you are like me and you make that mistake, then you will grab the power bombs of shame. I'm going to use those Shine Spark Echoes to kill these pirates. They're only vulnerable when they turn gold. So by doing some Shine Sparks in a very strategic spot and moving towards them to activate their gold armor, you can use those Echoes to kill them pretty quickly. Alright. My health is pretty low, so I'm gonna have to be pretty careful during this fight. The Ridley fight it's tough to do quickly. It's not necessarily difficult to survive most of the time, but trying to do the fight quickly, you're gonna end up taking damage just to get all your shots off as quickly as possible. But so far he's not really trolling me too bad, so I haven't had to take any excess damage really, which is good. Once I see that color change, I know that his health is halfway down, and I know just how many shots mixed with my ammo I need to do in order to finish him off. And he should be dead now. And there he is, dead pelican. Once Ridley's dead, he doesn't just automatically die. He'll attempt to grab you for a while. So you either need to jump into his claws to end the fight, or, you know, I'm gonna grab the sea tank. You either need to let him grab you or jump in his claws, or sometimes do other things. But anyways, this energy tank you don't want to grab if you want to go fast, but it's a very nice safety. I had enough energy where I could feel pretty comfortable getting out of here alive, but you know, mistakes happen. That tank is a very good safety item, so I usually grab it in, you know, marathon runs like this and whatnot. The lower Norfair escape here has some of the dangerous rooms in this route. It's very important that you manipulate the enemies. Nope. Alright. I need to not talk when I'm trying to short charge. I find that's usually when I miss them, is I'm trying to talk and do them at the same time. But you'll see the movement I'm doing in a lot of these rooms. Like, it kind of seems like I'm randomly just like rolling around in that morph tunnel. But what I'm actually doing is manipulating these enemies' locations. Because their movement isn't RNG, it's based on where you're at in the room. They'll react and move accordingly. So as long as you can keep your movement pretty consistent through a room, you can sort of expect the same behavior out of them every time. And you'll see that again in the Three Musketeers room coming up here. Beautiful. That third one doesn't always dive to the right like that. Sometimes he does come over to the left and you either have to tank a hit or, you know, make a really nice dodge. But, oops. I got pretty lucky there that he wanted nothing to do with me. So we're out of Lower Norfair now, which is, you know, a big, scary part of the run, which is great that we're done with it. And we're gonna go fight the intended first boss now, Kraid. Really the reason why I didn't want to do Kraid earlier is having the speed booster makes it a little bit faster. Also, Mini Kraid is an excellent source of super missiles, and having that super missile refill right before going into Meridia is really good. Doing Kraid early can actually be a really nice safety though, for Lower Norfair, because you have access to another E-tank there, as well as the various suit, which will save you some energy if you're doing the gravity jump to get up the lava pit. Oops. Yeah, you'll see here speed booster really pays off in this room. You can just zoom through and jump into the next room like this. And now it's time for the Kraid quick kill. First of all, I'm gonna do some shots into the ground, and I'm actually trying to break some of Kraid's like toenails that fly around the room. And by doing that, it's going to create a lot less lag in the room when he's rising up. And that's a great quick kill. Didn't really talk about it. But basically, if you can fire your supers during a certain part of his opening mouth animation, you can stun lock him, and if you jam enough supers, you'll actually kill him before he even rises up into a second phase, so that's a pretty nifty speed trick. Here's that awesome super refill I was talking about. That'll have me full going into Meridia, which is great. We're going to need a lot of them for Bot Twoon and for opening doors. So it works out very well fighting Kraid right now. Oops, I wanted to bonk that door to do a setup into this room. We'll see if... Oh, look at that, I did get a good jump. Jump height is weird in this game with your running speed. Sometimes if you have like just the right amount of dash speed, your jumps don't go as high as you think they would. So sometimes you'll see people try to jump up in that tube room and they'll do like a really short jump for some reason. That's just the game mechanics working really weird. And now we're going to come up to our next mini-boss, Bot Twoon. I didn't talk about it earlier, but I de-equipped my Spacer and Ice Beam earlier. And this is the main reason why, is I'm going to be using X-Factors on these Meridia bosses. So if you... Oh, okay, he's not dead. Probably shouldn't use missiles. Apparently I missed a particle, but when you only have the charge beam and one of the other beams equipped, if you have power bombs on and you hold a charge shot, you'll do what's called a special beam attack. The one that you can do with the wave beam is very useful. It can do a lot of damage to bosses. If I had hit all those particles on Bot Twoon, it only would have took me 6 supers to take him down. And you'll see me do another X Factor on Draygon. I'll do it at the start of the fight to try to squeeze in some more damage. Very nice, got a full halfie. That saves a lot of time. Now, fortunately, because I have 4 tanks, it makes this fight not as scary. Normally, if you're 3 tanking it and you're at 272 energy right now, you really don't have a lot to play with. So if you start taking hits from Draygon, there's a good chance you're not going to have ideal health coming out of here. But here's that X Factor again. Looks good. I got a goo, that's what I'm looking for. And we got a blue suit. I'm gonna try to turn it into a spike suit. There we go. So when you kill a Draygon with a Shine Spark, you're given what's called a blue suit. And it sort of puts Samus in a state where she always has her speed booster activated even though you're not sprinting. And that gives you a Shine Spark you can use somewhere. And I converted it into a spike suit, which is sort of like a blue suit, but it allows you to hold the dash button and not lose it. And to get that, I had to do like a double frame perfect trick into that turret and like try to spark out of it. So long story short, I saved some time by doing a Shine Spark across the Coliseum again. The game is weird. But with that, we've beaten all 4 of our G4 bosses. And it is now time to head back to Tourian and finish up the game. That's really the beauty of this route, is once you go up and get that gravity suit early on, and you can just go straight down to Ridley and just work your way up the planet, and by the time you finish off the bosses, you're like, you know, as close as you can be to the Tourian entrance from a boss. So the pathing just works out very well. There's not much backtracking, as you would see if you took the intended boss route. Nice. Normally you don't have a lot of supers unless you get pretty lucky off Draygon and Bottoon. Ammo is pretty important in Tourian. You need a minimum of 15 missiles and 10 super missiles to get through the Metroid rooms. Or not get through the Metroid rooms, get through Mother Brain 1 without having to like go back and refill and waste a lot of time. I picked up a extra missile pack, so I have 20 missiles total and 10 supers total. But unless I get like some really atrocious luck from the Metroids, there's a pretty good chance I'm not gonna have to like refill or anything. Usually the strats I do in these rooms are very conservative for ammo. I grab a lot of drops with them, so should be okay. I'm also going to re-equip my Ice Beam and Spacer Beam on this elevator. It's a good time to do this because pausing before you go into a downward elevator will actually save you 40 frames, I believe. Because the camera like doesn't scroll down for some reason. Weird game. And I'm going to do a quick pause here. Put those beams back on. Like I mentioned earlier, the Ice Beam is going to make the Metroid rooms a lot faster. I can just shoot them once with a beam shot, and then a super or 5 missiles will do the trick. Oh yeah, we're looking pretty good right now. $20 and 7, that's a real good count to have coming into this room. Yeah, we should be okay. I'll do a little D-boost off that Rinka. That'll get me through these side hoppers here without taking damage. They really do a lot of damage. And I do have that extra tank, so you know, even if I did take a hit there, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal. And now it's time for the baby skip. Normally this baby Metroid, giant baby Metroid, is supposed to grab you and suck your health down to 1, and it takes a really long time. But if you play jump rope with it a little bit, you can make it into the next room without getting grabbed, and you don't have to refill your energy, which is great. So I have 5 regular missiles of leeway for Mother Brain 1, so even if you know I lose a super or I miss a couple regular missiles, I won't be soft locked. There we go. Now Mother Brain 2, the last scary part of the run. It's going to take me 60 charge shots. Once I get to 46, she's going to start doing her catch-up beam attack, which at minimum does a whole E-tank of damage to me with the gravity suit on. So I don't want to get hit by that. So I'm going to be keeping count of my shots here. That's 9, 10. And once I'm at 46, I do not want to be in a bad position where I could get hit by a catch-up. There's that catch-up. And that is it. Mother Brain 3 is down. I'm going to damage down to somewhere between 301 and 399 energy. That's going to make this next cutscene play out a little bit faster, as you need to be between 1 and 100 to trigger this next part. So with that, we just have some cutscenes, one short boss fight, and an escape sequence, and we're done with the game. I didn't see when the first rainbow hit me. I'm pretty sure this is like a below 44 or something though. Usually it's like 3 minutes and 20-ish seconds from when the first rainbow hits you. Well, I guess I could watch the restream and see. Yeah, okay, that's like a below 44. That was good timing. And one of the saddest deaths in Nintendo history. Baby Metroid sacrifices itself for us, lends us its strength to finish the fight. And I am missing a lot of shots, holy moly. There we go, Mother Brain 3 is down. In true Metroid fashion, the planet's gonna start blowing up. And then we'll be done. There's not too much to say about these escape rooms. There's a nice shortcut in this next one. You can use the speed booster to break through some of these blocks. You don't have to go through like the little maze in the room. But the rest of it is kind of just, you know, good movement, good jumping, snapping the ledges. There is one more Shine Spark gonna do that's pretty cool. You like weave through all these platforms in the climb. And we are almost there. There we go. That is Super Metroid any percent. That is almost 2 minutes slower than my PB, but it's a very tough run. Tough to get close to your PB. and fortunately, I did not save the animals, so we're not going to see their ship fly off from the exploding Zebus, but yeah, that's it pretty much. Curious what my game time is, because I did grab the power bombs a shame, which may have helped me be a little faster game time. 30, yeah, okay, makes sense. So I guess I'll let the credits play out a bit. We'll get to the Deer Force, but I'm going to be doing another run for you guys. I'll be doing 100% coming right up, so I guess once Rasu gives me the okay, we can keep on going, get some more Super Metroid.